Lazav the Multifarious versus Nissa, Vastwood Seer, commander that we like to play on the channel, and that hand is very much reliant on us drawing into anything. As much as I like the mana, yeah, that's not. If we get into a land, we could maybe do some things with Jace. We can certainly get the Necrotic Ooze into our graveyard for our combo. I've taken out the Grim-Grin and Bloodline Keeper combo with Necrotic Ooze and instead replaced it with Triskelion and the Phyrexian Devourer. I've done that because it is a more competitive combo. You can do it at instant speed for no mana, and you don't need haste, and you don't need to get into the red zone. You don't need to swing in order to get the combo off, which you do need to do with Bloodline Keeper and Grim-Grin. So that is a better combo in my opinion with Necrotic Ooze. But it does entail us getting those two other pieces into the graveyard. Don't know what on earth our opponent's doing. Okay, we're finally getting somewhere. We'll put Underground Seat on top. That's really good to see that. That means that we can get into a turn 2 Jace and then start to loot with Jace. Lazav the Multifarious is a 1/3 for 2 mana. When he enters, you surveil 1, and then for X, he becomes a copy of a creature in your graveyard, where X is the CMC of the creature you're copying, and he keeps that ability. So there are lots of different combinations we can get going with that, which hopefully we will see this game. Nissa Vastwood Seer is a 2/2 for 3 mana. And when it enters the battlefield, you search your library for a forest, a basic forest, and put it into your hand. And then when a land enters under your control, if you have 7 or more lands, you flip her over into a planeswalker that draws you a card / ramps, or throws out a 4/4 elemental token. You seldom see the limit break on her because it's not actually that great in my opinion. Vector Asp is another combo with something with evasion and the Phyrexian Dreadnought. That's typically what you want to see. With Vector Asp, we are going to throw Necrotic Ooze into the bin and try and get ourselves a land. We do get ourselves a land. It is a tap land, but it doesn't matter because we're going to go for Ancestral Vision, and then we'll just pass the turn at that. Should point out that this card in our hand might have been worth playing that actually. It's a 1/1 flyer, and for blue and sacrifice, counter a target spell or ability that targets you or a creature you control. So what that is in here for is if someone targets us with a Bajuka Bog or Neil Spellbomb, something like that, we can actually counter that effect, and it will keep us from having our graveyard exiled. Consecrated Sphinx is something that we can definitely throw in the bin. I don't want to show them that we have Vector Asp yet. Hero's Downfall. I don't particularly think Hero's Downfall is going to do us any good yet. Why don't we just go in for Lazav and see if we can kind of scry. Yeah, we do want a land, so we'll keep that on top. And then we'll get down this Siren Storm Tamer. Pretty slow start. What we want to really get into is Buried Alive. Buried Alive will get us the combo straight away. Necrotic Ooze, Triskelion, and what is it called? Phyrexian Devourer. And what that does is it goes infinite at instant speed. You can either have Necrotic Ooze on the field with those 2 other cards in the graveyard, or of course have Lazav become a copy of Necrotic Ooze for 4 mana, and then we can just do infinite damage straight to our opponent. But we do, of course, not have those cards in the bin yet, so going to have to hope that we can outrace our opponent. And I think that thing, yep, still has another couple of counters on it yet. So why don't we throw Vector Asp in the bin finally? And then we can probably just hold up Hero's Downfall or Fact or Fiction. Well, that's haste, which is useful if, just in case we draw into the Dreadnought. The reason the Nether Traitor is in here is because it's kind of unblockable, it has Shadow, but it also has haste, so later on in the game that can be really useful. Because if our opponent deals with Lazav with something like a Beast Within, then we can replay Lazav, assuming we have lots of mana in the later stages, and then we can have it become a Nether Traitor, swing in, and then go for something like Vector Asp and Phyrexian Dreadnought. Alright, let's see what we can grab with this Fact or Fiction. Well, more importantly, let's see what we can throw in the bin. Well, that's pretty tough. Well, no point surmising yet. We'll see how our opponent splits it. Intuition would be nice to get into. I think that's the most important card in that whole heap of cards. And I think with that we would go for Phyrexian Devourer, Phyrexian Dreadnought, and Triskelion. Okay. Yeah, I think we take Intuition with that. And now I'm hoping that we get into a land. We do, that really helps. Yeah, so if we go for Intuition, we'll go for Intuition at the end of our opponent's turn, and then we can hopefully get the win off next turn. Because even if they do give us... Yeah, if we go for Phyrexian Dreadnought, Triskelion and Phyrexian Devourer, no matter what they give us, we can throw it into the bin with Jace, and then go for Necrotic Ooze and try and get the win off from there. So they're creating more tokens here. That seems to be all they've done this game, which is fine with me. Yeah, we'll just take the hit there, seeing as how we are going to aim for a win next turn. So here we go, let's go for Intuition. Our opponent is going to choose which cards to give us here. Would be nice to have a blue card in hand for Force of Will, but it's green, so I don't think they're going to do a whole lot to us. Then we go Phyrexian Devourer. And Phyrexian Dreadnought is right next to it, of course. And then what else did I say? I said Triskelion, which is right across. And then we'll let our opponent choose what they want to give us here. Okay, they choose to give us the Phyrexian Dreadnought. We can actually play that and just have it go straight into the bin, so it will cost us 1 mana, but it just so happens that we're not going for that anyway. And do we draw cards off this now? We do, so it would be nice to get into a blue source here so that we can hold Force of Will. Like I say, I don't think we need it, but you never know. We'll go Mana Crypt into Grim Monolith, seeing as how that will gain us some mana. And then get down our island, and now that means we go into the Necrotic Ooze, and hopefully we can show you the new combo. This has replaced out Bloodline Keeper and Grimgrin. So exile the top card of your library to put X number of +1/+1 counters. That is Phyrexian Dreadnought's ability. and then we remove a counter with Triskelion's ability to deal a damage to our opponent, and we can do this at instant speed as many times as we want, and it's basically either our opponent waits for us to take them down to 0, or we actually just show them the combo a few times and then they concede. Getting into a whole bunch of lands. What's that? 5 lands off the top. We get +1/+1 counters, 6 lands. We get lands equal, counters equal to the CMC of what we exile. So of course we got 3 +1/+1 counters from the Crucible of Worlds. And before that we got 4 from the Ancient Excavation. And we get 1 from Brainstorm there. And I'm just going to fast forward all this because I imagine you've all grasped the combo by now. And this is infinite, so even if, and it's instant speed, cost us no mana, so even if our opponent does have something for us, I don't think they can actually get out of this. And yeah, our opponent sees that. Pretty boring to play against, I imagine, and it's pretty boring to actually undertake the combo as well. But if you just show your opponent that you have it, oftentimes they'll see that it's instant speed and there's nothing they can do about it, and they will concede like that. So good game to our opponent. That is, I don't know if I did mention it, but that is Necrotic Ooze and Phyrexian Devourer and Triskelion. And so what exactly we were doing there, Phyrexian Devourer, exile the excuse me, exile the top card of your library, put X +1/+1 counters on the Devourer, where X is the exile card CMC. When the Phyrexian Devourer's power is 7 or greater, sacrifice it. That trigger does go on the stack, so you can keep the combo going even with that on the stack. You just have to make sure that that doesn't resolve before you finished your combo, otherwise you'll have to sacrifice Lazav. And Triskelion is remove a +1/+1 counter from it. It deals 1 damage to any target. And of course Necrotic Ooze has both of those abilities, because Necrotic Ooze has the activated abilities of all creatures in all graveyards. So that's what we were doing there. That combo has replaced out Bloodline Keeper and Grimgrin because it's instant speed, it doesn't cost any mana. We don't need haste because we don't need to get into the red zone with it and attack our opponent with 21 power. Don't need any kind of evasion, anything like that, so this is a much more powerful combo. And yeah, we managed to get that off quite comfortably. So good game to our opponent. Hope you like that, and if you want to run this deck yourself, the deck list is in the description, so you can keep up to date with any changes that are made there. It wins quite consistently, and it can be pretty fast as well. You get the odd turn 4, maybe even turn 3 wins sometimes if you're lucky. But anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and yeah, I think people are continuing to enjoy these coming out on a weekend. I keep getting thumbs up and lots of views on them, so if you start to get bored of it, by all means let me know, but as long as I'm getting the support for this weekend Lazav content, then by all means I'll keep doing it. So, I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.